So I do want to just cover, appreciate you guys for still continuing to promote and post in the team chat about the call schedule. I really, really am grateful that you guys have decided to step up. As always, if you can't do it, text somebody, say, hey, can you fill in for me today? I'm just not going to be, able to post. Set your alarms for when you're posting it. And the biggest thing is, take it seriously. Are you taking it seriously? And the reason why I bring this up is because, in the Bible and on a scriptural level, they're always speaking on, being a good steward and managing what you've been given, the responsibility well. And the people that have, excellent character, they have, outstanding elite habits is because of how well they steward the little things, how well they manage what they were given on their way to where they are today. And so don't take maybe these tasks so lightly or, nonchalant, like really take them seriously, because I want to give you guys more opportunities to step into, more leadership roles and grow in your responsibility as a leader. But it does determine how you manage what you've already been given. And so I just wanted to throw that out there. I really appreciate you guys, and I'm looking forward to, what's to come in the future. And I also wanted to touch on real quick, last night's Friday night call was actually really powerful. And if you were there on the call, hopefully you guys saw the shift from maybe previous calls. And what I truly believe what it was is new energy, new blood, new people. The power of those calls truly come to life through open discussion. And I want to encourage you, when you're on those calls, to interact by being on camera, coming on camera, unmuting yourself when you have something to share. There's only, the energy can only go so far when you type it in the chat. Same thing on these calls. Things can only go so far when you only do certain things. And so I want to encourage you to, get outside of your comfort zone. When you get on those calls, be very intentional. Like, there is a different energy when everyone is engaged, everyone is intentional about why they are on the call. And if you don't have maybe a specific question that week, ask yourself, be intentional, be purposeful. How can you add value to those that maybe that are on there? So just wanted to kick off with those, just kind of reframing a couple things and putting you guys in the right mindset. Again, this comes back to the mission, is to give you the right perspective that challenges you, that allows you to see things from a different level and raise your level of awareness as a leader. And so just to recap, last week we talked about building a new image, stacking your wins to build positive momentum in your life, and overall your self-esteem. At the end of the day, like, we find ourselves not being consistent, following through, beating ourselves up, so on and so forth. And I truly believe it does come down to our belief system. And how do we rewire that? We have to start to look at success and failure in a different way, and like almost like taking the bar low enough for you to know that you can actually hit it, for you to know that you can actually jump over that bar. Sometimes if we set the bar too high, we over time like get discouraged when adversity hits, and we don't actually think that we can ever get there. And then we stop doing the things that would actually get there if we just, stayed the course and compounded. So we encouraging you guys to start with smaller wins, setting those minimum baseline goals, and building positive momentum. You define success. What success is for somebody else may not be for you. Oh my God. Hold on one second, guys. I'm sorry. All right, let's see if we can get through this call. You guys get my point. Okay, so topic for today is conversations and content, and I want to ask you guys a few questions that I think are going to help you to start to stimulate the right responses, the right habits, the right attitude, the right spirit, the right conviction. Okay, over the last, not even the last week, the last 6 weeks, since we've been together doing these calls, are you making progress? That's question number one. Are you making progress? How do you know that you're making progress? Are you making progress? How do you know that you're making progress? And the biggest question from that, whatever you said to yourself, or maybe you're not sure, what evidence do you have to prove that you are making progress? What evidence do you have to prove that you are making progress? And I want you guys to write this down. There is no evidence that you have learned anything until you put it into action. There is no evidence that you have learned anything until you've put it into action. Okay. And so we could be doing all of this learning, all of this consumption, all of these realizations. We talked about this last week, but until we are taking action, and honestly, consistent action, we're not going to actually get to a point where we make progress in our life. And so there's no evidence that you've learned anything until you put into action. And so what evidence do you have to prove that you are actually making progress? It starts with you taking action on it. And I want to give you a couple examples. This is just some things that I have been realizing that I've been making progress on, and this is my evidence. And you guys can go through this, for yourself. I wrote down like on a sheet of paper, and I basically said on one side, this is what I've been doing well, and this is what I'm improving and working on. So on the doing well side, I've been waking up at my scheduled alarm, 4:30. I've been reading my devotional every morning and night, journaling. Oh yeah. Okay. Expressing gratitude when I first wake up in the morning. Not touching my phone while I'm actually doing work so I can have complete focus, doing my follow-ups, replying to message, birthdays, all that stuff. Some things that I'm improving on is reviewing my notes every night, actually taking the time to review the things that I've been taking notes on. Instead of just walking as my workout, actually doing a workout, putting out content more consistently, so on and so forth. So write out what you've been doing well so you can identify the wins, and then write down the things that you need to improve on. All right, we're gonna rock through this, and we might have to take a rain check next week. We will see. All right, so conversations. I want to ask you guys some questions that I think will help, because we're gonna get into conversations and content on this call. But I wanted to kick it off with those questions because this information that I give you and that you receive, no matter where you get it from, it's not going to matter if we're not actually putting it into action, because that's how you gain evidence. That's how you gain and build positive momentum in your life. Okay, so conversations. Are you clear on who you are speaking to? This is for you. Are you clear on who you are speaking to? I'm gonna tell you, they're just like you. Okay, whoever you are, they're just like you in some way, shape, or form. So write that down. Are you clear on the specific problem that you solve? Okay, are you clear on the specific problem that you solve? And I want to help you guys with this one, because I know that my problem, like my I help statement, I wasn't connected with it. And I was struggling with my conversations in a way. And I was also like just totally disconnected with some of the content that I was putting out. And I think it has a lot to do with the fact that I wasn't truly connected or clear on the person that I was actually helping. And I'll share what I wrote for my I help statement in just a second. But I think something that will help you with getting clear on the specific problem is, once you've identified what the problem is in your I help statement, ask yourself, what adjective, an adjective is something that describes, it's a describing word, resonates the most with you about your problem. Okay. What is the solution? That's the next question. What is the solution that you came here looking for? Okay. And the way that you can identify that is, what do you value the most? What are you primarily motivated by? Okay. And then the last question is, what is the transformation that you're taking people through? And how you can come to identify that for yourself is, how have you grown and changed since you've been here? How have you grown and changed that has made a significant impact on your growth? Okay. So I'm not going to repeat these just for the sake of my mouth, but I'm gonna have the recording out so you guys can go back to those, but go through those questions. And I think it's going to help you identify the person that you're speaking to, and really not only be clear on it, but be connected to it. Like, this actually is in alignment with me. Okay. I want to ask you another question to help you. What are all the ways, write it out, what are all the ways that you and your life has transformed for the better because you got started here? What are all the ways that you and your life has transformed for the better because you got started here? Are you a better person? Are you a better, dad? Are you a better daughter? Are you a better son? Are you a better, entrepreneur? Are you a better friend, business partner? Okay. Leader? If so, talk about it. Write those things out. How have you transformed so far in those areas? Okay. And I want to give you a couple questions. I'm going to give you some more questions. I'm just going to give you 3 right now that you can be asking in your conversations to help move the conversation along. But I promise you, if you get really clear and connected with the problem that you solve in your I help statement, the questions that you ask will come very naturally because you know the direction that you're taking the conversation. You are leading the conversation. So one question you can write down to ask in conversations, and do it obviously in proper manner when it's time. Don't force it. But you could ask, what's the thing that you look forward to do with your free time, or what's the thing you like to do with your free time? Oh, hold on. Is God gonna cut me off today? Okay. Okay, what is the thing you're most passionate about? What's the thing that you don't get to do enough of that you wish you had more time to do? Okay, we're gonna keep it moving. We're gonna wrap up this call, I promise you. So the next part of the call, guys, I want to just speak on content. Content, which is something. Oh my God. All right. Content is just a conversation out loud for people to hear. Okay. Content is just a conversation out loud for people to hear. Okay. That's it. So I want to give you an example. It's the conversations that you have with your prospects and the team. Okay. Those conversations, you turn the content of the conversations into actual content. And what I mean by that, and this is all stuff that I'm not just pulling out of my, I'm pulling it from Bob. I'm listening to a lot of his stuff and I'm just putting it together in a way that's relevant to, us and where we're at. But how you do that is, look at the conversations that you're having. And if you're not having any conversations, you're not paying attention, then this is going to be kind of difficult. Okay. But look at some of the conversations that you're having. Look at the transformation that you've gone through. Look at the problem that you solve, the solution that you offer. Okay. What limiting beliefs were brought up? What struggles did they maybe share? What areas did they want to see growth in? What do they desire more of? What values are important to them? What stage of their transformation process are they in? What lessons are they learning? Or maybe, what guidance do they need right now? You can look at that list of questions. I promise you guys, I'm gonna put the recording up so you can go back to it. But look at those answers from those questions, and you can create content from that. And I think that we're gonna add on to this call next week. If you guys want to hear more about this topic, I can go into it on our next call. But you want to get specific on the who you help, the specific problem that you solve, so that you can get specific on what to post in your content. Okay. And I love what Bob said, and I really resonated with this over the last couple of weeks. But he said, if you struggle with what to post, it's because you struggle with who you are trying to help. You're not clear on it. So he said, know the who, and you will know how you help them solve their problem. Okay. So if you know the who, you know how you can actually help them solve their problem. And so I think this last part, just to kind of close up the call and everything, I think what's really going to help make a shift in the way that we do what we do is seeing ourselves as this. Okay. Our goal is for people to look at us as a trusted advisor. I don't need to be an expert. I don't need to have all the answers. Okay. I am a trusted advisor. Trusted advisor. That is our goal, for people to look at us like that. You are someone that they believe can help them go from where they are to who they want to become, to where they want to go. You don't need to be at the finish line already to help somebody. You don't need to have it all together, to make progress. You don't need to have a certain result in order to advise people towards the right path. Like, people are looking for what we have. Like, I have conversations with people every week, and it's like, if I could just get through that thick skull, but we can't think like that, right? People need what we have. They are looking for it. Like, they are just like us, but they don't have a vehicle to go where they want to go. I've been talking to this guy who's been in the same problem literally month after month, year after year, and it's like, bro, when are you going to do something about it? And I asked some pretty challenging questions. Most people don't want to hear it, but the right person that's looking for something, they won't look at it as like, oh, I'm being offended, you're offending me. They'll look at it from a lens of like, oh, wow, like they actually care. So I don't feel bad anymore about asking certain questions, obviously all within context, but I'm asking questions to challenge people. Okay. Because now they're going to look at me as someone they can trust, because I'm not going to just give them what they want to hear. I'm going to give them what they need to hear. Okay. And I know for me, like, many of you guys look back at when you got started. I didn't get started because I saw my upline's results. I didn't see that. I got started because I saw, or that he saw, the problem I wanted to solve. He showed me a vision of where I could go beyond my current reality, beyond my current circumstances. And I saw the value that was above and beyond what I was currently doing. Those two things, vision and value. And what's cool is Bob was saying in one of his lives, or whatever it was, he was saying that value is the number one thing that people are looking for before making a purchase. People want to maximize the value from every single purchase and experience that they have, especially in today's economy where, there's just so much uncertainty. Like, it's like heightened uncertainty. People want to max out the value of their purchase. And especially with, what we have, they will max out the value of their purchase when they get started. We know that, but it's our ability and our job and responsibility it's a skill, honestly, to be able to translate that in our conversations and our content. So they build trust in us. We build trust in them so that they know and believe that we can solve the problem that they have. But you don't get to that point until you're clear. Go back to the first part. You're clear on who you actually are helping and the problem that you're solving, the solution that you can offer. What do you value the most? What are you primarily motivated by? And what's the transformation that you've been able to have so far? What type of growth and change have you experienced? That's where you're taking people. Okay. So in closing the call, the value that you offer is the experience you give to the people that you work with, the people that you help get started. Okay. The value that you offer is the experience. Like, the experience, he was saying, is oftentimes just as important as the actual service or product that they're purchasing. Like, people want an experience. So I want you guys to really meditate on this. I want you guys to really review this call, answer a lot of these questions, or, all these questions that we went over today. And because it's only going to help you gain more clarity and be connected with why you're doing what you're doing. So let me just share with you guys real quick my I help statement. So technically, according to kind of what Bob teaches, you want to actually have two I help statements. I know some of you guys are like, two, still trying to figure out my one. But trust me, it does, it does get easier once you really understand what you're doing with the I help statement. But my business I help statement, I'll send a screenshot in the chat because some of you guys actually may resonate with this a lot because we all work together and it makes sense. But my I help statement on a business level is I help women who feel dissatisfied at their job find more meaningful, flexible work that encourages them to grow and think differently. And I was saying something a little different, but my problem was I help women who struggle in their career path. And that just wasn't connecting with me. I was like, there's something about this and I'm just not connected with. And every time I say it in my conversations, just don't feel this. This isn't right. And Alex and I were talking the other night, get with somebody in here in our group and just have a conversation, because literally 5 minutes of having a conversation with Alex out loud, I was able to like identify what I needed to get. So I replaced that with dissatisfied. That's what I was. It's not that I was stuck. It's not that I was, quote unquote, yeah, maybe was struggling financially, but like I wasn't struggling on my career path. I could move up if I wanted to. I just wasn't. I was dissatisfied. And that was a great adjective to describe where I was at the time. And so that's why I said, when you guys go to identify your specific problem, look to the adjective, look to that describing word that resonates with you the most about your problem, and then find more meaningful, flexible work. That's the solution. That's what I wanted. I wanted meaningful, purposeful, purpose-driven, flexible work. So hopefully this is helping. So that's my business statement and my product statement, because the business is different than like the actual product service that we offer. The product statement that I have is, I help women who feel limited with only one income stream, one stream of income, find a supportive community that guides them towards financial independence. Okay. So that's kind of like what I wrote out. I will send you guys the screenshot if you'd like it in the chat. And I will also send the action steps for this next week. Also be on the lookout. I'm going to text each of you guys sometime, within the next few days, just to get, a recap. Like, how are you guys doing? How these last 6 weeks been going for you so far? Do you really feel like you're making progress? Where are you at? Just kind of get a temperature and a pulse on how you guys are doing, and maybe what you want to see more of that we haven't covered yet. So that is the call. I'm gonna go take care of my mouth. I really love you guys. I really appreciate you. I hope you guys have an incredible weekend, and we will talk with you guys later. Peace.